In 336 BC, a young Alexander III ascended the Macedonian throne amidst chaos, swiftly crushing rivals and securing his kingdom. Now, in 334 BC, with Greece subdued and his borders safe, the ambitious king turned his gaze to the vast Achaemenid Empire. His first test, a daring clash at the River Granicus, where bold strategy and raw courage would set the tone for his legendary conquests. This is the story of Alexander's audacious invasion of Persia and his triumph against overwhelming odds. After reducing Thebes to rubble, Alexander returned to Pella to plan his invasion of Persia. Ignoring advice to secure an heir, he focused on rallying his nobles and addressing the kingdom's strained finances. In a bold move, he distributed crown lands to his companions, reportedly replying to concerns with, "my hopes." In reality, this was a strategic borrowing of funds to fuel his campaign. With preparations complete, Alexander led his army through Thrace, following the path of Xerxes' Erkburn, leaving Antipater as regent. 20 days later, the Macedonians reached the Hellespont. While Parmenion managed the crossing of 160 triremes from Sestos to Abydos, Alexander, clad in armor, symbolically hurled a spear into Asian soil at Elaeus, claiming the continent as his. After visiting Troy, he rejoined his army at Arisbe, ready to challenge the Persian Empire. Alexander's army, inherited from Philip II, was a marvel of its time. It comprised 12,000 Macedonian heavy infantry, including 9,000 phalangites and 3,000 elite hypaspists led by Nicanor. Supporting them were 7,000 allied hoplites, 5,000 mercenaries, and 7,000 Thracian levies, plus 1,000 archers and Agrianian skirmishers. The cavalry included 1,800 companion cavalry under Philotas, 1,800 Thessalian horsemen, and 1,500 scouts and Greek cavalry, totaling around 500 mounted troops. With auxiliary units like siege engineers and scholars, including Aristotle's nephew Callisthenes, the invasion force numbered approximately 40,000. This disciplined, versatile army was tailored for rapid movement and decisive battles, a stark contrast to the sprawling Persian forces Alexander would soon face. The Achaemenid Empire, under Darius III, was a colossal power, its western satraps tasked with repelling Alexander's incursion. At Zaloia, satraps like Arsames, Spithridates, and Arsites, joined by the Greek mercenary Memnon of Rhodes, debated strategy. Memnon proposed a scorched earth policy to starve Alexander's army and open a second front in Greece. However, the satraps, wary of sacrificing their lands and distrusting Memnon's loyalty, rejected this plan. Instead, they mustered over 10,000 cavalry and 5,000 to 6,000 Greek mercenaries, positioning themselves at the steep banks of the River Granicus to confront Alexander directly. Alexander's scouts spotted the Persian army across the Granicus, prompting him to deploy his forces, phalangites in the center, cavalry and light infantry on the flanks. Despite Parmenion's caution to delay, Alexander, driven by a Homeric thirst for glory, ordered an immediate attack. He sent a vanguard of skirmishers, light cavalry, and Agrianians to secure the far bank, but they faced fierce resistance, suffering heavy losses from Persian missile fire and melee in the riverbed. This sacrifice drew Persian units into the river, disrupting their formation. Seizing the moment, Alexander led 2,000 companion cavalry in a wedge formation, charging obliquely to strike the Persian left. A brutal cavalry clash ensued, with Alexander's cornel wood lances outmatching Persian spears. The king faced mortal danger when his spear broke, and Persian nobles targeted him. Mithridates fell to Alexander's lance, Rusaces was killed after damaging the king's helmet, and Spithridates nearly ended Alexander's life, only to be stopped by Clitus the Black's timely intervention. As the Persian left crumbled, Parmenion held the right against Bactrian and Median cavalry, while the phalanx crossed the river, shrugging off Persian missiles. The satrapal army broke, with survivors like Memnon fleeing to Miletus. Alexander then encircled the unengaged Greek mercenaries who, caught off guard, petitioned for mercy. Enraged, he massacred thousands, sending 2,000 survivors to Macedonian mines as a warning to Greek mercenaries serving Persia. Macedonian losses were minimal: 100, 120 cavalry, and 30 phalangites, while the Persians lost 1,000 to 500 cavalry and dozens of officers. Alexander buried the fallen, appointed a new satrap for Hellespontine Phrygia, and spared Zalea. Parmenion captured Decilium, and Sardis surrendered its fortress and treasury. In 2 years, Alexander had transformed a shaky throne into a springboard for conquest, with Asia Minor now open before him. Yet Darius III was raising a massive army to confront the Macedonian king, signaling that the true test lay ahead. The Battle of Granicus was more than a victory. It was a statement. Alexander's audacity, tactical brilliance, and willingness to lead from the front shattered Persian resistance and sent shockwaves through the Achaemenid Empire. His ruthless treatment of mercenaries underscored his resolve, while his survival of near-fatal encounters cemented his aura of invincibility. As he gazed from Sardis toward the vast Persian heartland, Alexander knew the road ahead would demand even greater feats. The Granicus was but the first step in a journey that would redefine the ancient world. If you enjoyed this epic tale of Alexander's conquests, like and subscribe to our channel for more historical adventures.